Hi everybody, welcome. I wanted to walk through the process of creating a song on one of the songs that I'm using for my synthwave CD that has come out. And this is to kind of help you think through some new creative options and new creative ideas that you might want to try yourself. I've been writing a lot of songs for a lot of years in different genres, all the way from pop and rock to Christian. I've even delved into some country. I've done jazz, I've done instrumental, I've done lyric, I've done all kinds of different things. I've produced albums for other people as well. And that creative process can get a little dry at times, right? If you're a writer, if you're a creator of content of any kind, you know that it can get a little dry sometimes on the creative side. So I wanted to walk through my process on some of the songs that I'm putting on this synthwave CD and see if that might encourage and inspire you as a writer, as a creator, to try something new and different. All right, so this particular topic, or this idea that I had, as I'm coming up with a song, I decided to give myself some assignments, some creative assignments. So one of them was to go back into classical pieces, go back to the masters, as it were, and take a look at their chord progressions, their chord structures, and see what it is that they did, and see if that can't inspire me. And so I kind of call it a fusion of, you know, the old idea to the new one. And I'll talk about this on another video with another era, and like I decided I'll go to the Baroque era and see what I can draw from that. But today, one of my favorite pieces is Moonlight Sonata from Beethoven. It's a great, great piece. It's very lovely. So I decided, why don't I take that and try to create a fusion of that with a more modern flair to it, modern progression, modern sounds, obviously. I don't want to rearrange Moonlight Sonata. I don't want to redo it in an electronic dance version. Some people have done that, and it's a great, you know, they've done a great job of it. But I didn't want to do that for this particular CD. What I wanted to do was to take the idea and see what inspires me from that chord progression. All right, so number one, obviously, we got to get the music. So if you don't read music, that might be a little bit of a problem. You just do it by ear then, and you just listen to it and capture it by ear. So what I did is I'm reading the music and I'm taking it, and I'm going to take some notes as to, all right, just what's the basic chord progression that's going on. Now, Beethoven used a lot of diminished sevenths, and he also inverted a lot of the bass lines, which makes for a very beautiful melody and all kinds of great movement in the piece. And so I like capturing that as well. That's one of the influences in my own writing from them, from the classics, from Hans Zimmer, from David Foster, from many others that I draw from and listen to and love. You know, the guys, Two Steps from Hell, Nick Phoenix and Tom Bergeson, just love their stuff and how it moves you, right? You find your favorite artist, your favorite composer, what moves you? Why does it move you, right? Take a listen to the bass lines, take a listen to the melodies, the chord structure. What is it about it that draws you in? And start to incorporate that into your own writing. So I'm looking at Beethoven here, and I pulled up a patch from my Roland JV 1010. All right, this is in C sharp minor, so I'm gonna just, you know, make a note. The intro is C sharp minor. All right, so we have that. Then the bass line moves. So it's gonna be a B. We move to an A. Now it goes like a D over F sharp there. All right, D over F sharp. C sharp minor over G sharp. Then we have a G sharp 7. And then back to the C sharp minor. Right? Then we have the verse, if you want to look at it this way. I know it's kind of a crass way to look at some classical pieces, but that's the way it is. Then we move into an inversion. Okay, this is a G sharp 7 chord, right? And he puts it with a bass line with a B sharp. Now we have to stay in the key, so it's going to be B sharp, not C natural. Same note. Okay, so that's G7 over B sharp. Back to the C sharp minor. And then F sharp minor, looking at it. F sharp minor. No. Moves into a B. So this is an E over B. Resolving to a B major. And then E major. And it holds. E minor. C. Yep. So we've got A sharp diminished. Not even a 7. It's an A sharp diminished to a B minor. E minor. B minor over F sharp, resolving to the F sharp major. B minor over F sharp to the F sharp major, back to the B minor, which then lifts to the B major, right? And it moves on. And so you do this, and I was doing this throughout the whole piece, and I just started writing a bunch of notes. So I had verse, I had, what I don't know if I'd call it a chorus, but so I moved into these different sections, and I was just making notes of the chord progressions. Again, not so that I could rearrange the entire piece. I wanted to let it inspire me. What could I pull from the chord progression that inspires me to create a new piece or a fused piece that has some of these elements in it? One of my favorite passages in this piece is, I love this, it's actually a little bit further on, where it moves into this passage. And it's a little bit further on, but I captured that and wrote that down because it's one of those things that really kind of inspires me musically and so on. So I wanted to capture it and see if I couldn't bring it into what I was doing. So you do that, listen to the piece, listen to the chord progressions, take a look at what's going on. If you have sheet music and you can read it, great. If not, use your ear and listen to it and then figure out what those chords are. All right, so now we're going to take those chords, and I'm listening to it. All right, and I want to do something with it. So I'm going to pull up on my DAW. I use Digital Performers. I've been using it for a long time. I won't say how long, but I've been using it a long time and really enjoy it. There's all kinds of great DAWs out there, so obviously you have your favorites. I've got a number of plugins and so on. One of my plugins I'm really enjoying, especially in the synthwave arrangement of things, is the VPS Avenger, the production suite. I'm not getting anything for this. They're not a sponsor or anything, but I love their stuff, and I'd encourage you to go check it out. It's a great virtual synth package. It has a lot of great sounds, a lot of great things that you can do with it. Here's the cool thing about patches and sounds. A lot of times they can inspire you to write something that you didn't even know was there. You weren't even thinking about it, but something about the sound just illuminates the creativity in you, and you start writing something. So I like to go through some of those patches and do such a thing. So I've already pulled up my DAW, and I've chosen about a 112 BPM. It's a decent one, and I'm going to pull up on my DAW here. I'm going to pull up the VPS, and in this I'm going to choose in the sequences. I'm pulling up New Electro. Let's see what this is doing. All right, now I've used this for a couple other pieces that I have. I really like the drum track in it. I like the movement. I love it. Man, they've got some rich sounding stuff here. Okay, so I'm going to hit the groove. I'm going to see, okay, I'm just going to use the chord pattern and see what I got. Okay, now I got this weird thing going on. They call it a bender, dun, dun, and it's using fifths, but it's not working because my bass line is moving and it's throwing something. I'm going to mute that, and let's see if that cleans it up. Yeah. Now those chords aren't even in the piece, right? I'm hearing this and I'm just creating it right off the cuff. It's just inspiring me. So I'm going to go back to these the chords. Okay, so we've got our intro, but what if we move to the verse? Okay. Okay, so if we did. Okay, so that's the chord progression for that first part of Moonlight Sonata, but I don't want it to sound like that. I want something different, but I want to base it on that progression. So I might try something like this. Okay, so now I've got something else going on, and I'm hearing, you know, for my purposes, a chorus that might do something like this. Piece, you know, that piece in the and then we can move into this, or let's see. Okay, so now I'm starting to create my own arrangement of it. I'm taking elements of this classical piece and I'm fusing it with obviously my own experience, my own writing style and desire and the chords that I hear. And I'm now starting to arrange it and format it into a song. In typical song, in my mind at least, you know, there's an intro, there's a verse, there's a chorus, there's a bridge, and so on. And there's different ways to format all those things and package it. One of the things I found interesting about the synthwave genre is the whole lack of time as far as, you know, how long a song should be. I grew up in the pop rock era where everything was at like 3.5 minutes long. If it was longer than that, it didn't get airplay. And so I just got used to hearing things in 3-minute and 30-second segments as far as a song. So when I started writing for the synthwave genre, it really was hard because I was breaking through 5-minute, 6-minute songs, things like that. And some of my favorite artists like Temanite, and some of the others, I mean, they're doing 6-minute songs. So I thought, well, okay, I'll give it a try. And it is a lot of fun. There's a lot more things you can do with a longer piece as long as you keep it interesting. And so the flow has to keep going. And I'll talk about that on some other songs that I'm developing. I'll show you how I started stacking the arrangement and keeping that interest, not only for somebody who's going to be listening to it, but more importantly for me. If I'm getting bored with it, definitely everybody else will be bored with it too. So as you create, as you write, as you arrange, keep that in mind. There has to be movement somewhere in the arrangement and as to where we're going. So we'll be taking a look at how I'm building this as the song goes, because as for right now, this is as far as I've gotten. But what I'm going to be doing next will be starting to record the actual pieces of, all right, I want this to be the intro, here's the verse, here's a bridge, here's a chorus, and so on. And I'm going to start building that and piecing that together. Some of it will be very free-flowing. I don't know about you and your process, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll just hit record and I will just go for it, and I'll just play whatever. And then I'll go back and I'll listen to it, and I'll analyze it and say, okay, I like this, and I'll pull that, and I like that, and I didn't like this, and I'll get rid of that. And then I piece it together into a basic form of an arrangement. So I've got the basic foundation. And then I'll go back and I'll start listening to it. Okay, what else can I do with this? Instrumentation-wise. All right, I've got this nice big rich synth sound here. And it's got a bit of a push and an arpeggiation. I might add a very percussive arpeggiation on top of it at places, but I don't want to keep it for the entire song, because that starts to become a little bit of fatigue. So I like to mix it up with not only that patch, but I might use a quieter patch. Let's see if I can pull this off. I might pull in my pad. You know, like I might use that for a bridge just to change it up, and I'll change up the drum mix and how it's programmed so that it will do something different as well. So stick around for the journey. You'll see how the whole thing comes together, and we'll also look at how we mix it and how we master it. So we go from the very start of this to the very completion of it, and it'll be a fun journey. So I hope you'll stick with it.